Hey everybody, Chris Denny with Simple Sluice Prospecting Equipment. Today I'm going to make a overview video on a foot stomp shear that I purchased. It is made by, I say KAKA, some people say KAKA. Um, I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. I actually asked the guy from the plant over the phone how to pronounce it, and I want to say KK. Anyway, I say Kaka because I like that better. But anyway, this is a foot stomp shear that comes out of China, and I have some of their other equipment, box and pan brake. That's a 48 inch or 50 inch, and I also have a hand shear that I have really enjoyed. Both of those. It's reasonably good quality. It's good enough for what I do. I wish that I could afford American-made equipment, but I can't, and that's just a simple reality for me. So you have to work within your means. So anyway, this foot stomp shear is the LQ01-5216. This has a 16 gauge mild steel capacity, 14 gauge aluminum, and that's at 52 inches wide. And most of your sheets are going to come in 48 inches wide. So they give you that extra few inches so that you have some wiggle room, which is kind of nice. Or if you wanted to cut your 4-foot sheet at a 3 or 4 degree angle or something, you have a little bit of room to work with there to do that. But anyhow, I was a little bit concerned buying this foot stomp shear because I know that there are other foot stomp shears that come from other manufacturers like Grizzly and Jet and a few other ones, and people said that they are junk. So knowing that this might have came from the same foundry, who knows. Anyway, I was a little bit skeptical. It is a lot less expensive than like a 10 Smith or other American-made stomp shears. So, but I didn't have a choice because I was running into issues with my aluminum suppliers being unable to deliver a undamaged product. And with my sluice boxes, you see all sides. Here, we're gonna take a walk. You see every bit of every flaw of the sluice box. So if it comes to me scratched up, my customer is going to get a scratched sluice box chassis, and that's not something I've been able to get away from, and it's been very frustrating for me. And I got tired of apologizing to customers as I'm selling boxes, or throwing in disclaimers about damages from the aluminum plant. But anyway, so since all these people were unable to provide me with undamaged aluminum, what I did was I bought this shear, and I'm having them order me in sheets that are they have the peel coat, the plastic coating you can see on both sides, and so it comes on its own separate pallet, and I can get this to my shop 100% damage free. And if it gets damaged, then that was under my control, and so be it. Then I get to deal with that. So anyway, back to the foot stomp shear. So compared to other Chinese manufactured, heavier fabrication equipment, this is actually pretty good. It's equal to or better than anything Grizzly offers. Setup assembly was really straightforward, and I got to using it pretty much right away. Getting it dialed in is going to take you a little bit of time. So for instance, like these gauges here, they don't come square to the knife, so you can't trust that right out of the box. And this distance, the measurements, sorry about that, are also not true. They're just not correct. So what you have to do is loosen those bolts up and see if you can get it square. See if you can get that measurement to be true, and if not, you can do what I did here. I'm gonna drag you over here, and I drilled these holes larger so that I could get that to line up. But once I got the measurements to line up so that it was correct to the blade, then the blade hit that slide or that rule. So I just pulled it off. If I need it later, then I can figure that out. But one of the things that it was doing was it was keeping me from getting a good measurement. So I don't. I'm gonna kind of go on a tangent here for a second. As a fabricator, as I won't call myself a machinist, but I have machined many hundreds of parts. I try to hold really high standards for my product quality, and I don't trust. Let's just say, like, if you're at work and there's a tape measure or a rule on a table saw or whatever, I don't trust those. I don't know that the person that put them there did a good job. I always use my tape measure, and so that's what I have decided to do with this. Was I took a known good accurate tape measure that has been thoroughly checked with a calibration tool, and I made, well, so this is actually it, believe it or not, a very cheap Stanley 12-foot half-inch wide tape measure. I've had that for a really long time. If you don't drop them and you take care of them, they can last a long time. Anyway, it's great for working with small parts. And it's also great for getting up inside here. If you look down, you can see the lower blade section. If you put your tape measure on that and then measure out to your workpiece, if it's a good tape measure, then you're good. So what I did was I put these scribe marks at common dimensions that I cut. And so the scribe mark goes all the way down. And so that does two things for me. It tells me that my workpiece is square to the blade section, not square to a bolted down inaccurate rule, not square to the T-slots, not square to anything other than the blade section, because that's the only thing that matters. That's the only way that you're going to get a square part off of this or any stomp shear. So anyway, so I put those in, and any cut that I make, I'm going to use this as a general guide. If it isn't super critical, then I can use my eyeballs and get it squared up to that line, and I can make my cut, and it's going to be, within about 10 to 15 thousandths, which is plenty good tolerance for sluice box stuff. But if I need more accurate than that, then there's a plastic guard that goes all the way down this, and I took that guard off because it got in the way of me getting my tape measure where I need it to be. And you just have to know to be careful. Don't put your hand under the clamp. So anyway, otherwise, this is a very nice stomp shear. It has sped up my process tremendously. So I'll give you some examples. So here is the positive stop system or index system. So there is a fine adjustment measuring wheel that goes inside here. I didn't find it to be anything that I wanted to use, so I took it off just to reduce weight, because I pull this whole assembly, these two bars off with the clamps in place as one unit. But anyway, the stops are nice for repeat cuts, and you do still every once in a while want to stop and check to make sure that your cut is still where you want it to be. Banging parts up against this, 50, 60 times, it can move a little bit. So you want to every once in a while check just to make sure that you're not throwing it, out of spec. But so these are transition plate blanks. Here's 6 inch, 8 inch, and 10 inch. And so what I used to do, so you can see these scratches on the peel coat. That is what I used to end up with on my bare aluminum from the aluminum supplier. Anyway, what I used to do was I would have pre-cut sheets like that, and I would make 10 or 15 at a time, where I would actually draw a line going down for whatever, however many pieces I wanted to cut, and I would use this shear to cut those. And it was better, definitely better than paying somebody to make all those individual cuts, because you're most of the time you're going to pay by the cut. And so what is could potentially be a 37-cent part for you turns into a $5 part, and that's just, you're not going to stay in business doing that. So I was using this to cut it, but what that meant for me was that every transition plate took a couple of minutes to draw the line, and just to get it to this point, it was a couple of minutes. For me, I cut, so this is a pile of 32, 32, and 16 or whatever. That took me less than 5 minutes. So you can really crank through the product here. Once you get your stop system set up, if you want it to be accurate, it's going to take you several minutes to get that stop system in place and set up accurately. But once it's set, you can really cruise through the parts. So as far as performance of this Stomp shear, just fantastic. Really like it. It's 1,000 pounds, so it's a little heavy. I use my tractor to get it in here. I run a farm on the side, and so I have a nice 75 horse tractor that's perfect for moving stuff like this. And anyway, if you don't have something like that, I would recommend renting a forklift, or find a friend that has a tractor that can lift over 1,000 pounds, because you want that safety buffer. But it's a chunky piece. It's fairly heavy, a little bit awkward. So if you buy one of these, make sure that you're prepared to put it in place where you want it, or get it off the truck or the trailer or whatever. So this LQ01 is actually won't be available for very much longer. The Q01 dash 5260 or whatever is the new version. And so the castings apparently on this one have some flaws that they're not okay with. It's not structural, and it doesn't affect the performance. It's more of an aesthetics thing. I talked to them about this, and the casting isn't terrible. So the new version of this is like $2,600 US or $2,700 US, and I got this for $1,800 US, and shipping was $400. So right around just under $2,200. I got this in my shop. So the performance of it is great. So it does cut, like I said, the 14 gauge aluminum. It handles it no problem. I'm not a big guy. I'm only 150 pounds, 5'9". So for me, it takes a bit of effort to use the foot stomp for it, but that's to be expected. So it is totally capable of doing it. It's a functional machine. I'm gonna set you up on a tripod and make some repeat cuts for transition plates, and just so you can kind of get an idea how quick and easy it is to use this. So I'll bring you back. Okay, video got messed up, so we're gonna start over here. So just a pro tip here: when you get peel coat on your aluminum, you're usually going to have one end that doesn't have any peel coat and one end that has a little bit sticking past. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera. So you always want to use the end that doesn't have the peel coat sticking past it. That peel coat can throw off the squareness of your cut. So hold it in place. The hold down is now engaged. Every once in a while, if you care, pick up your pieces so that they're not falling on each other. Sometimes what I do is I'll relocate the piece several times throughout a cutting session so that they're not sitting down just getting hammered on. But as you can see, it doesn't take too much effort to use this. Sorry, my wife is moving horses just on the other side of the wall, and it sounded like he kind of freaked out. Perfect. So there you go. That's 16 perfectly cut pieces in just a couple of minutes that before would have taken me a lot longer. So far, I'm really enjoying the foot stomp shear. I'm glad I bought it. Previously, the way that I was doing things, getting sections of aluminum cut to width, and then I would cut them down to length. I was paying as much or more for the shear service, the cutting service, as I was for the aluminum. So sure, this cost me just over $2,000, but it's going to make itself, it's going to make me money eventually. So it won't take long to pay for itself. It's just one of those things that you need to do if you want to hopefully work more efficiently. So anyway, this has been awesome. I'm really glad I bought it. Don't be afraid to purchase KAKA materials or KAKA materials or machines. They've been really good to me. I've been very happy with it. So like I said, totally skeptical at first, very happy in the end. Just understand that it's not going to be perfect. You might have to make some small refinements and do what you need to make it present the quality that you want for your product. But in general, the KAKA machines have been awesome for me. So anyway, that's all it. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it, guys. Take good care. We'll catch you on the next video.